A city hiding 30 kilometers of underground tunnels beneath its streets. Islands that weren't islands until a storm tore them from the mainland. The world's largest urban ravine system carved through a modern metropolis. Today, we're exploring 30 mind-blowing facts about Toronto that will change how you see Canada's largest city. Fact 1. The underground city that never sleeps. Beneath Toronto's streets lies a secret world. The path system stretches over 30 kilometers underground. It's the largest underground shopping complex on Earth. According to Guinness World Records, over 200,000 people walk through these tunnels every single day. You could spend an entire Canadian winter without stepping outside. Fact 2. Islands born from destruction. Where the Toronto Islands weren't always islands until 1858, they formed a continuous peninsula connected to the mainland. Then, a violent storm flooded the sand pits and ripped the eastern end away. In one night, nature created an archipelago of 15 islands. The largest car-free urban community in North America now lives there. Fact 3. Cliffs that build islands here is something that shouldn't be possible. The Scarborough Bluffs are literally creating the Toronto Islands. Every year, wind and waves tear sediment from these 90-meter cliffs. Lake Ontario's currents carry that sand westward across the harbor. The islands you see today are made entirely from eroded bluff material. Fact 4. A castle's $3.5 million mistake. One man built a 98-room castle in the middle of Toronto. Sir Henry Pellet spent $3.5 million in 1914 money. That is $100 million today. He installed the first private elevator in North America. He had horse names engraved in 18-karat gold on their stalls. 10 years later, he lost everything and abandoned his dream. Fact 5. The secret WWII submarine lab. During World War II, Toronto hid a military secret. Casa Loma's stables became a covert sonar research facility. Scientists developed submarine detection devices behind under-repair signs. Not even Toronto city officials knew what was happening. The truth stayed classified for 10 years after the war ended. Fact 6. Ravines bigger than Central Park. Times 30. Toronto contains the world's largest urban ravine system. It covers 110 square kilometers of protected land. That is 30 times the size of New York's Central Park. The ravines were carved 12,000 years ago by retreating glaciers. They cut through nearly 100 meters of soil to create these valleys. Fact 7. A city within a park, 17% of Toronto is covered by ravines. These ancient valleys form fingers of wilderness reaching into downtown. You can traverse the city beneath the streets through forest corridors. Writers call Toronto a city within a parks. Because of this system, most residents walk over this hidden world without realizing it exists. Fact 8. The tunnel built out of spite, Casa Loma's owner faced a problem. A city street divided his property in two. Toronto refused to close it to traffic. So Sir Henry Pellet spent a fortune building an 800-foot underground tunnel. He connected his castle to his stables just to avoid the cold walk. Fact 9. North America's only full-size castle. Casa Loma isn't a replica. It is the real thing. This Gothic revival castle is North America's only genuine full-sized fortress. It features secret passageways, a rifle range, and 3 bowling alleys. The conservatory has a stained glass dome and marble floors. One bathroom had 6 different shower heads for a full-body spray. Fact 10. The first underground path was for shopping. Canada's first underground tunnel opened in 1900. The Eaton's department store built it to connect two buildings. Shoppers could move between stores without facing Toronto's brutal winters. By 1917, 5 separate tunnels existed downtown. Nobody imagined they'd eventually merge into the world's largest underground city. Fact 11. A geological time capsule, 70,000 years old, the Scarborough Bluffs hold an ancient secret. The first 46 meters contain fossils from 70,000 years ago. Plant and animal remains were deposited during the Wisconsin Glacier's advance. Above that sits 61 meters of alternating sand and clay layers. Scientists from around the world study these cliffs. They're unique in North America. Fact 12. Islands vanishing before your eyes. The Toronto Islands are literally disappearing. Gibraltar Point erodes at 1.37 yards per year from southwestern storms. Without human intervention, the islands could split in two within decades. Engineers now dump 15,000 cubic meters of sand every few years. But Lake Ontario keeps swallowing it back. Fact 13. The underground city has color-coded directions. Getting lost in path would be easy, so designers created a brilliant navigation system. Red signs point south, blue points west, orange points east, yellow points north. Each tunnel uses cardinal direction colors to guide 200,000 daily commuters. Even then, locals still get turned around regularly. Fact 14. A castle that cost more than the calls, Casa Loma, had its own telephone exchange. The castle's private operator handled more calls daily than Toronto's entire downtown. The mansion included a central vacuum system decades before they became common. The ovens were big enough to roast an entire ox. It took 40 live-in staff just to maintain the property. Fact 15. The market named World's Best St. Lawrence Market earned a prestigious title. National Geographic ranked it the best food market in the world. It has been operating since 1803, over 220 years. Every Saturday, the North Market transforms into a farmer's market. On Sundays, it becomes Toronto's premier antique market. Fact 16. Ravines that saved the city. Hurricane Hazel struck Toronto in 1954. 30 million tons of water fell in a single storm. 81 people died as rivers overflowed their banks. The disaster proved ravines weren't wasteland. They were flood control. After that, most ravine land was legally protected from development. Fact 17. The castle's unfinished dream pool, Sir Henry Pellet, planned an indoor swimming pool. Construction began in Casa Loma's basement, but he ran out of money before completion. Today, the empty pool sits filled with gravestones. They're props from movies filmed in the castle. Fact 18. Islands that were once a peninsula 9 kilometers long before the storm. Toronto's islands stretched 9 kilometers. This massive sand spit curved from the eastern beaches westward. It protected Toronto Harbor from Lake Ontario's fury. Then the 1858 storm carved the Eastern Gap Channel. Overnight, Toronto lost its natural harbor protection. Fact 19, the underground city's massive growth plan path isn't finished growing. Toronto's 2011 expansion plan calls for 45 new entry points. The system will eventually stretch to 60 kilometers. That is longer than the entire island of Manhattan. future generations might never need to see winter. Fact 20, bluffs taller than a 25-story building. The Scarborough Bluffs tower 90 meters above Lake Ontario. That is equivalent to a 25-story skyscraper. They run for 15 kilometers along Toronto's eastern shore. Elizabeth Simcoe named them in 1793 after English chalk cliffs. But these aren't chalk. They're layers of sand, clay, and glacial deposits. Fact 21, a ravine system 30 times Central Park size. Remember those ravines? Let's put their scale in perspective. Toronto's ravine system covers 110 square kilometers. Central Park in New York covers just 3.4 square kilometers. That means Toronto's wilderness is over 30 times larger. Yet most visitors never see this hidden forest network. Fact 22. The castle builder who lit up Toronto, Sir Henry Pellet, didn't just build Casa Loma. He founded the Toronto Electric Light Company in 1883. His company brought electricity to Toronto's streetlights. He generated power from Niagara Falls. At his peak, he was chairman of 21 different companies. Fact 23. Underground tunnels older than the subway path predates Toronto's subway system. The first tunnel opened in 1900. The Royal York Hotel connection was built in 1927, but Toronto's first subway line didn't open until 1954. The underground city is literally older than underground transit. Fact 24. Islands with a residential waiting list of 13 years want to live on Toronto Islands. The average wait for social housing is 13 years. Wards Island and Algonquin Island house 250 homes. Residents own their houses, but lease the land from the city. Legislation protects this unique community until the year 2092. Fact 25. The castle's paranormal reputation. Casa Loma has a ghostly history. The Lady in White appears throughout the mansion. She is believed to be either Lady Pellet or a former maid. People report hair being grabbed in the 800-foot tunnel. Even Sir Henry Pellet's ghost has been spotted in his castle. Fact 26. A ravine system with 87% of the city's wildlife. The ravines aren't just pretty, they're vital. They contain 87% of Toronto's indigenous wildlife and plants. Coyotes, herons, deer, and even bald eagles live here. The Don Humber and Rouge Rivers flow through these valleys. It is one of North America's largest biodiverse urban parks. Fact 27. The underground city's movie star status path has appeared in dozens of films. The tunnels provide a unique cinematic backdrop. Movies use them for chase scenes and secret hideaways. During COVID-19, Bloomberg called the area a ghost town. But now over 200,000 people traverse it daily. Again, fact 28. Islands formed by the exact cliffs that are destroying them. Here is the ultimate geographic paradox. The Scarborough Bluffs created the Toronto Islands through erosion, but modern construction blocked the natural sediment flow. The Leslie Street spit now intercepts sand before it reaches the islands. The islands are starving for the very material that built them. Fact 29. A castle turned secret spy base. Casa Loma's wartime role didn't end with sonar. Some claim it housed Station M, a covert spy device facility. Though this has been disputed by historians, what is confirmed, the stables secretly produced ASDIC submarine detectors. Workers came and went behind fabricated construction signs for years. Fact 30, the world's largest underground complex built by accident. Path wasn't centrally planned. Each building owner independently built their own tunnel segment. Private developers added pieces hoping to eventually connect. It grew organically over 120 years without unified design. Now 35 different corporations own different sections of this world record. From islands torn from the mainland to tunnels carved beneath city streets. From ravines older than civilization to castles built on impossible dreams. Toronto is a city where geology writes history and nature defies urban planning. Somewhere beneath your feet right now, 200,000 people are walking through the world's largest underground city. Somewhere on Lake Ontario, islands are vanishing grain by grain. And somewhere in a castle on a hill, the ghost of a dreamer still wanders halls he could never afford to keep. The question is, what other secrets is this city still hiding?